Hi, this is Kat at inkingpaperwithkat.com. I'm going to start a three-part project. I did this last year at the holidays and decided to do it again this year. It's a box or a container, if you will, that opens up and has gift cards on one side with the envelopes, and then on the other side has gift tags. And the whole thing folds flat like that and then opens up so it can stand on a table while you're wrapping your packages and you can just reach in and grab one. Today we're going to start with the actual container. Now this one I did in reds and early espresso because I happen to love that color combination at the holidays. But given that not everybody does, we're going to change it up a little bit and go with reds and greens for this project. Let's take a look at the supplies that we're going to need. Alright, we are going to need a piece of, this time I'm using Mossy Meadow, and this piece is 4 by 11. We also need a piece of cherry cobbler that is 4 by 9.5. We need a piece that is 2.5 by 5 and a piece that is 3 by 6. And then for the DSP, we need two pieces that are 3.25 by 3 3/4. We need two pieces that are 3.25 by 1.5 and 1.5 by 3 3/4. So we are going to start, we also need a scrap of Whisper White, another piece of cherry cobbler, we need some of the rhinestones, and we need the blends marker. This one is the dark cherry cobbler. Some dies. This is the largest of the layering ovals, the scallop shape, and this is the largest of the stitched shape framelits in the oval. Alright, let's get started. The first thing we're going to make is this inside piece. And to make that, we need our piece of cherry cobbler, the largest one first. We need our simple scoreboard. Make sure that's in camera for you. And on the long side, we are going to score at 3.5, 7, 8, and 9. And that's all the scoring for that. Then on the other two pieces, the one that is 6 by 3, we are going to score at 1/4, 1 1/4 on 3 of the sides. So the two short sides and one of the long sides at 1 1/4 and 1/4. So it's 1/4 and then 1 1/4. On the smaller of the two pieces, we are going to score at 1/4 and 3/4. And again, we're going to do that on 3 sides. The two short sides and the long, one of the long sides. So it's 1/4 and 3/4. While we have the scoreboard, let's go ahead and work on our outside band. We are going to score this on the long side, so the 11-inch side, at 1, 4.5, 6 1/4, 9 3/4. Alright, so that is all of our scoring done. So let's work on this piece first. We are going to fold and burnish all of our score lines, and you do want to burnish these well. Now when you get to this section, hopefully you can see it, where there are 3 score lines, the one closest towards the center you are going to fold in. The next one you're going to fold back on itself, and the last one you will fold in. So it should look like this. So when we put it together, it's going to look like this. These two pieces we are going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. And they are going to create these little open boxes on the side to hold our cards and our gift tags. Okay, let's do this one. And last year when I did this project, it was a different design, but it was also in 3 parts. I asked people if they liked having it in 3 parts, because to do it in one video would have been way too long. And people generally said that they did. They liked that. And I do try to post them all in the same week. So we would start on a Monday and have one Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you wanted to make several of these, you would do all of your cutting, all of your scoring in a production line type thing. And they actually can go up pretty quickly. Alright, that is all of our folding and scoring. So let's put our DSP on. Okay, so these are the pieces that are 3 1/4 by 1 1/2. Oops. And what we're going to do is adhere these to the front of our boxes. And these are definitely easier to adhere while this is flat than to have it put together. Alright, now we are going to cut these. So with the side that does not have any horizontal score lines at the top, you are going to cut up the vertical score lines to the second score line. So the first one is that very narrow strip, and then the next one. This little tab you are going to angle off. And you're going to cut this one off. Do the same on the other side. So your box will go together like this. So what we need to do, let's do it on this one as well, is exactly the same. Now in this one I want to take some wedges. These are much larger flaps than that other one. So we're just going to wedge it in. Cut off a piece. Now what we're going to use is tear and tape. But we're also going to use, we have our regular tear and tape. I also use a really thin double-sided tape for these sides, because that way I don't have to worry about the adhesive getting someplace I don't want it to be. So I'm going to run that right along that fold line. And I'm going to do this on both boxes on the 3 sides. So it's right up against that fold line. Alright, now we need to put some adhesive on these tabs. So I'm just going to use some double-sided tape. Alright, let's put these together. Well, let's take this adhesive off first. So take off the adhesive on your tabs. And then your tabs get folded in just like if you were making any other kind of box. And the side brought up. Do the same thing on this one. So now what we're going to do is pull this adhesive off. This is going to get adhered to this. And you're going to have, I'd say about 1/4 of an inch. You want to line it up with that fold line and leave that border around it. And then go in with your finger or your bone folder and just push those sides down. We're going to do the same thing with this one. And this one is going to get adhered right against the end of the paper. I'm trying to do this without sticking my head in the video and being able to see at the same time. Okay. So now we're going to run double-sided tape along this glue tab. And you could use a liquid glue like Tombow for this, and it would work great. Just remember to hold it in place for a few minutes. So you have to line this up, and you want to get it as square as you possibly can. Alright, so there's your little box. Alright, let's make the outside. We are going to bring in our green, and then we are going to put down our DSP. Alright, this you can put on with fast fuse. Snail would probably work fine. You could also use liquid glue. It's all in whatever you're comfortable with. Alright, and on the other side. Now if you were to use a paper that had a directional pattern to it, you would need to make sure that you were putting that on the right way. But since this pattern does not have direction, we're okay. Alright, and then we have the top. And the bottom we will put on afterwards. Because what we want to do is we're going to put some double-sided tape on this. and we are going to slide our container in because we want to make sure that this fits well but is not so tight that we can't get it off. So fit it around your holder, pull off your adhesive, the release paper, and then put it down. So this is still going to slide in and out. Now we can take the bottom piece, and you don't even have to put the bottom piece on. I didn't put it on this one, but I thought for the purpose of this video we would go ahead and put it on. But it's completely up to you. It does pretty much cover up that seam that's there because it is visible. Alright, now we're going to do some stamping and die cutting and put our sentiment on the front, and then we will be finished with our project. So we're using the 2 dies. We are using the stamp set Peaceful Poinsettia, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And it just fits on that block. We're going to use Cherry Cobbler ink. And a piece of Whisper White cardstock that we're going to go ahead and cut down. Okay. We're going to run that through the Big Shot in a minute, but while we're waiting, I want to actually put some rhinestones on this. I want 3 of them, and I want them to be cherry cobblers. So I'm just taking plain rhinestones, and I'm going to color 3 of them with my blends. And those can dry while we do our die cutting. So get out the Big Shot. I'm using the magnetic plate, a cutting pad, our stamp sentiment. I'm going to line that up so it is centered. Cutting plate, and roll it through. And then we're going to take a piece of cherry cobbler and cut out one of these scalloped ovals. Put the Big Shot away. Get our sentiment. We're going to use some dimensionals to pop it up. And then we are going to take the rhinestones that we colored and put 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and adhere that. I think we'll do that with dimensionals as well. I am going to put 4 dimensionals on the back of this because that cover is going to be slid on and off probably quite a bit, and this way I know that this is going to hold because I don't want to give a gift and have it fall apart. And these do make really nice pre-Christmas gifts. Alright, there you have it. That's our container. Come back again on Wednesday and we'll be making the gift cards, and Friday we'll do the gift tags. I hope you enjoy the project. Happy holidays.